there's this particular thing that happened. Then I was a teacher. Yeah. I taught for 3 years. Just came to my head and I decided to like, okay, let me just speak about it. So this is like a true life story. That is why in every family you have to, family planning is very important and you don't need to test God. I keep telling people you do not need to test God. Just because it works for the other person doesn't mean it's going to work for you. That same way you get. And in marriages, I get that poor people feel like even if they born, they have to like born so many so that one person in that many children is going to like make it big and take the others out of poverty. That story is a fallacy. I know of somebody, a lady, that was married to a man that was not averagely doing well. He was beneath average, but at least he could fend for with his income. Low square, he could cater for his family of four, him, his wife, and two other kids, giving them the little he can, but you won't say he's poverty stricken. So this lady had like two children, a boy and a girl. And I used to tutor the boy child when he was still young, and the girl used to be like in the next class. Who the teacher was also my friend. So I stopped after my IT. That I did that for just my IT. So I went back to school to finish up. And when I came back, I was waiting for NYSC, and I had to go back because the school didn't know me and my qualification. I had to go back to this school again to like I told them that I was going to only teach for a short period till I get my clarion call, and they said fine, they know me already. So when I was in the school, I found out that the lady was still there with her kids were still like attending the school, and she had a child. I found out she had another girl that is like 1 year old, and then she was pregnant again. So that's like she was pregnant again, and they could not even afford the school fees of the other two there because they were already like grown to a better amount of age. They were already like grown. The son is 12 years and the daughter is 8 years, so respectively. And then their little baby was 1 year. Then she was pregnant. I feel like she was 1 year going to 2 years. So she was pregnant for another child. And here is the story. She said when she had her other child, she did not go for any antenatal. That God saw her through. She was grateful that God did everything possible to like make her give birth safe and sound. Now in that situation, there was no money for antenatal. There was no money for you to go to the hospital to like checkups and check yourself, check your vitals. You gave birth through the help of midwife and all that. It's fine. It's cool. God saved you. I feel like that is when you should know that okay, poverty is around the corner. I just need to stop here. I don't need to go further. You get. But she did not stop. She had to conceive again. I want to understand one thing. People who are jobless, you see that you people don't have any other thing to do in life than sleep with your wives. Instead of allowing poverty to envelop you, you should not stay at home and allow poverty to get you. The idle man mind is the devil's workshop. You should go out there and hustle. There are a lot of things to do legitly, rather than sit at home and engage in coitus. But anyway, so the pregnancy was already almost due for delivery. Still, she's still holding God. She didn't go for any antenatal for that child. Nothing was done. She felt okay. God was going to like see her through this time around, the same way He saw her through the last time. So we went for the holiday period for the holiday because the term was over. So it was now time for her to give birth. She went to the midwife again that helped her deliver her child. When it was time to deliver, she delivered her baby. They carried the child out. She got herself a bit. She was now asking for her baby. She was still very weak. And they said that they took the baby to the other room. They are trying to like beat the baby so that the baby can come alive. And she was like, okay, what did she give birth to? They told her she gave birth to a boy, that they were trying to like waken the child up. While they were trying to resurrect the baby, she was having body pains. And she was like, oh, my body is paining me. My this is this. My body is, I feel pains all over my body. And before they could say Jack, she died. Her baby died because it was a stillbirth. And they found out that the baby was already dead. The baby was like not functioning well in her tummy, and she lacked a lot of nutrition and other stuff. So I feel like the baby died like a few days before delivery. So the baby died. She died. She did not see the child that she gave birth to, and the husband. Igbo people and their tradition, their burial costs. So now the husband was left with 2 three children. The last one was just really young. And then 3 weeks after we heard that the wife died and lost the child, he was preparing for the burial. This is somebody that is not financially stable in this economy. And the family people, they were like, oh, he's going to pay for this, he's going to pay for that, so many things that he's going to do for the burial. And then the school where I teach even told him that, don't worry, your children will be placed on scholarship. No need for you to pay school fees. So you just have to sort yourself out. He was happy, he was grateful that, oh, they've actually taken out school fees expenses from him. And then school was supposed to resume the next week. This man was sleeping and he died in his sleep. And mind you, they were not married. It was just all this kind of coming together to give birth to children and start up a family. So they were not traditionally married. So the list they gave to him was for him to come and do marriage rites before burial rites. Now imagine the expenses for somebody that does not even have 10,000 naira in his savings. And those village people, they actually do not give a damn about your poverty or your state. All they know is that you are going to pay for every single thing on that list. He just slept and never woke up. Now, a lot of people are going through a lot. Like, they're actually going through a lot, and some persons might not be strong enough to cry out. When you look here, you look there, you see that no help is coming, you just want to like end it all. Lekki here, this bridge at Lekki here, a man drove a jeep. He drove his jeep to the bridge. He parked there and then he jumped over. Thank God there were divers. Thank God for, I don't know, because he jumped in with the intent to like end it all. But there were divers that actually like said, no, you're not going to die now. And they brought him out of that water and put him back into the jeep. So both the rich cries, the poor, we already know that the poor is not happy with their state. But there are people that are contented with what they have. I'm not saying that you should be contented. My slogan is hate poverty to the point where you know that you cannot even stand the sight of poverty. You just have to make sure that you do everything legally, legitimately to survive. So those children, they lost their parents within a twinkle of an eye. They lost their sibling that they never got to see. And scholarship was nullified because there was no adult that was available to take care of them, and they sent them to the village. What am I saying in essence? I know how people say some women are so money drunk. I feel like if you are not rich, if you're not financially stable, you do not have any business with marriage. It is not a question of your capping. This is reality check. If you are not financially stable enough to fend for three persons, you have no business with marriage. You do not have the rights. It is witchcraft for you to think that you are poor as a man. You want to bring in somebody's daughter to come and suffer with you in marriage. I don't care the desperation. I feel like it would be better if you are single and struggling. As a lady, I always say to myself, I would never marry as a liability if I'm not established, if I don't have something that gives me the minimum of $300 in a month. I am not going to get into marriage. I should have something that I would say, okay, I'm getting married. I'm not going to leave the whole responsibility for my husband. I'm going to also be there. Life, being a woman is not all about buying biscuits when the husband is not around or buying Maggie. No. When they send you the child school fees, you should be able to pay for it. And then when your husband will be like, oh, honey, I sent you the money for the child school fees for this time. And you tell him, I've already paid, but thank you for the money. That is how family works. If you cannot, as a woman, have something tangible and you want to get married to somebody that earns, a man that earns 300 to 500K in a month, you want to get married to him, it depends. It depends on what you're going for, though. But if you're going for a stabilized life for your kids, 300 to 500K should be should be that of a lady's earning. The man should earn higher. Now, he's earning high, not because he's going to swallow all the bills, but because he was told by the Bible that he is the head of the family. The wife is going to support in higher way possible. But you as a man, you have to ensure that you are capable enough to be a man. not a sissy. We have women that are so much more successful than men, but to an average level, if you're really successful as a lady, your husband should be able to like meet you on a more balanced level. Then again, family planning is very necessary and very important. You should go for family planning. Don't bring children to this world that they would come and suffer. I would always say to myself that I'd rather not give birth than give birth to children that I wouldn't stay alive to train. So we should always take note of all these things and ensure that we are safe wherever we are. I know you cannot predict your death, you can't predict anything, but let's just try to be